In today's video, we're going to talk about not just graphing one inequality, but a system of inequality, which means two or more. Now, you did these with equations, where we graphed two equations together, and then we looked for the point where they intersected. Well, now, if I'm changing the equal signs to inequalities, remember we have to talk about shading. So it tells me right here in my Explore that the first line is in red, and that inequality we have says greater. So on the red line, put your pencil on the y-intercept, which is -1. And greater means we shade up. So if it was just one line, the red one, that would be your answer. So now let's look at the second line. The second line is the blue one. And this one says for the inequality that it is less than. So put your pencil on the y-intercept of 4. And less is when we go down. So you want to shade everything below that line. So when you're graphing multiple inequalities, the answer is going to be the part where the shadings overlap. Okay, so we're looking at where the shading overlaps. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to erase the parts that don't count so that we can have just the part that does. So you had to be above the red line, but below the blue line. So my final answer would be this part right here, shaded in blue. So if you want to use different colors of pens or colored pencils or anything like that to help you see the overlapping shading better, that's completely fine. If you do that, just at the end, when you're finished, what I do is I just outline the information. And so I would just take like my pencil or a black pen or something and outline this little part right here. And that's how I know that's the final answer. So let's move on to some examples. On this one, they're both in slope-intercept form. Yay! So on the top one, the y-intercept is -2. Slope is 1, so up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And this one should be a dashed line, because remember, it doesn't have the or equals to, so here's my dashed line. And put my pencil on the y-intercept. And this one says y is greater. And y is greater when I'm shading up. So if it was just one inequality, I'd have all this part where my arrows are. That would be shaded in. So now let's go to the second one. So on the second one, the y-intercept is 1. Slope is down 1, right 1. So remember, only use the negative one time. So down and right. This one is a solid line. This one, put your pencil at 1, and it says less than. Less than is when you're shading down. So what section, so my lines cross, it kind of looks like an X. So what section would our two shadings overlap? And so hopefully everybody is going to say that the two shadings overlap over here on the left side of my X. Okay, on part B. Got to make it a little bit trickier because you notice the top one's not in slope-intercept form. So let's go that way. So move the x over. Y is greater than or equal to negative x plus 2. So start at the y-intercept of 2. Down 1, right 1. Remember, only use the negative 1 time. Once again, if you can hear my puppy barking, you're going to notice I made the videos all on the same night. This one I'm going to put a solid line because it has the or equals to. Put your pencil on 2. And this one says greater, and greater is when I go up. So now the second line, it is already in slope-intercept form, yay. So start at negative 2. And then down 1 over 1. And then this one is also going to be a solid line. And this one says that y is less than. Less than is when you shade down. So when I look at this problem, it's a little bit unique because is there any overlapping of the shading? There is not. There is no overlapping. So if there is no overlapping, that means this problem does not have a solution. Okay, so it is rare, but every once in a while you will come across one where they don't have any shading in common, so you put no solution as their answer. So C, I'm going to give you 3 of them to put on the same graph. So the first one, we got to rewrite in slope-intercept form. So you got 5y is less than negative 2x minus 10. Divide both sides by 5. So y is less than negative 2/5 x minus 2. So start with negative 2. And then down to right 5. Down to right 5. Remember to only use your negative 1 time. This one is going to be a dashed line. And then for shading, it says less. So less is when we're going down. Now the second one. Once again, I got to rewrite this one. So let's start by moving our x over. So negative 4y is less than positive 8x plus 8. Divide all parts, by negative 4. Oh, what happens with an inequality if you divide by a negative? You have to flip it. So flip it over, and then this reduces to negative 2x minus 2. So we're going to start at negative 2, and this time we're going to go down to right 1, down to right 1. And once again, only use the negative 1 time. This one is also going to be a dashed line. And this one is greater. So I put my pencil on the y-intercept, and greater is when I go up. So right now, if there was only 2 lines, and I asked you where the shading overlapped, hopefully everybody would say the shading overlaps right down here at the bottom. Okay, but that's not my only 2 lines. I do have another line, so let's go put the third one in. So on the third one, we only have 1 letter, so we're going to think hoivux, and so we're going to go vux, so it's going to be vertical. This one's going to be a solid line, so make a vertical solid line going through the x at 3. And this one says greater, and greater is when you go to the right. So where do all 3 have in common? Well, hopefully everybody has this part right down here as your final answer. Okay, pause the video and go give these a try for yourself. Okay, so hopefully you're okay with those. If not, please make sure you ask me questions when I see you next. So just like before, now I'm going to give you the picture, and it's our job to write the system of inequalities. Okay, this problem only has 2 lines. So I don't care which one you start with. I'm just going to start with the blue one. And I need to know M and B. So pick 2 points that are on the line and count your slope. And if I do that, I get -1 over +1, which is -1. The B crosses the y-axis at 4. And then once again, solid line. And on the blue one, we are shading up. We're shading above the line. So then we go y. Above is greater. Solid line means or equals to -1x plus 4. Now on the red line, once again, I made a little typo. Let's make the red line dashed. So I'm going to make that one dashed in there. Sorry, my dashed lines did not come across very well. So for this one, my M, I'm going to pick 2 points. So I'm going to choose this one, and so I'm going to choose this one right here and this one. So if I look at this one, I'm going up 1, 2, and I'm going across 1. So my slope is 2. The y-intercept, it crosses the y at 3. This one is a dashed line. And we're shading below this one. So y is less than 2x plus 3. Okay, on the second one. This one, I'm going to go ahead and make the blue line a dashed line. Okay, so if I start with the blue line, so I'm going to pick 2 points. So I'm going to choose this point and this point. So if I count for my slope, I got down 1, right 2. So my slope is -1/2. Crosses the y at 5. It's a dashed line. And it's shading below. So y is less than -1/2 x plus 5. The next one, I'm going to pick 2 points on my graph for the slope. And to me, it looks like the slope is 2 over 1, which is 2. And then it crosses the y-intercept at -3. It's a solid line, and it's above for the shading. So y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 3. Okay, so on the try it, I'm going to leave the first one as solid lines, but let's go to the second one. On the second one, can you please make the blue line a dashed line? Okay, so try these yourself. Okay, then you have the bottom three for your assignment.